1 second. It is starting my stream now. Come on. And we are live.
All right.
Hold on 1 second. And here is the link that you guys were asking for. That is the link.
So it's live?
It is what we are live at the moment, yes.
All right.
Let me know when you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right, so yeah, this will be crap. So everybody, that I'm sitting down today with Victor Vortex to speak to him about some things that he was accused of earlier this year in early October. The purpose of this is to let him tell his side of the story. We will try to keep this as fair as possible. I will be asking certain questions, and his friend and other people in here that have known Victor will speak up if they have anything. Of course, we have Victor Vortex with us. We have. Go ahead, Victor.
Hello, everybody.
And then we also have Rachel from Harmony Studios, Midnight, and Mr. Benny. I'm not sure where you're from, Mr. Benny. I'm sorry. So, just, yes. If you guys want to introduce yourselves very briefly, please feel free to.
Oh,
Midnight, go ahead and start us off.
sure.
Hello, everybody.
I am Midnight Sun. I've been on the Brony fandom for quite a while. I've known Victor for a while, and I've been doing animations for the fandom for quite a while. It's nice to be here tonight.
All right, Rachel.
Okay, my name is Rachel, and excuse me, and I have been with Harmony Studios for almost a year, and I was the head writer, and I pretty much still am, and I am now the director of Harmony Studios, and I have been in the fandom for for a little bit over than a few years, and I have done a lot of writing and some voice acting as well. And I also met a lot of great people throughout this fandom, and I'm glad I am here to help out a dear friend of mine.
Benny, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Hi, I'm Benny. I have no affiliation with Harmony Studios, but I did meet Victor Vortex a few days ago through my friend Rachel. He's a very nice guy. He fit in well with little group of cartoon fanatics. Um, I am the head CEO of my own independent small company, Retro Universe, which also is my default YouTube channel. And I've been a fan of MLP for a few years now. And it's pretty much all I have to say for now, but I'll be happy to talk about more later.
Okay, so Victor, earlier this year in early October, you were accused of ERPing with a underage person at that time, which just happened, I believe, what was it, 3, 4 years ago?
It was back in 2014. Yes, I did role play with somebody back in 2014. It was quite a while ago. There is pictures of it, but yes, I did.
Okay. And so this person decided to step forward. They posted some screenshots of certain um, pieces of that role play, and afterwards you stepped away from the fandom. You stepped down from Harmony Studios, if I remember correctly, and so at this point, from my understanding, you would like to try and set the record straight in a sense that there are some things that you feel weren't addressed appropriately.
Yes.
All right, so um, first off, I guess the big question is why? Why? What led up to these role plays?
What led up to these role plays? Well, back in 2014. Well, first when I joined, how I got into the role plays is I had another friend. We met and we used to do it on Google Plus all the time, and we did role plays and we acted like characters from MLP and stuff like that. And I did a lot of role plays back then. So I met a lot of people and on Google Plus and made friends with a few people, and those people knew other people, and they of course role played and stuff like that. And I used to do a lot of MLP role plays back in the 2014 and stuff like that. That's what led up to this role play. The person that I did the role play with, we were friends. We were friends then, and we did the role play. There was that's what led up to it. So just role plays beforehand.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, you guys role played normal things at the start.
Yes, there's a normal role play between me and this person. There were role plays with other people as well. Normal role plays.
So what led up to an erotic role play?
Um, well, I guess like acting like the characters and stuff like that, and just the situations and stuff with how the role play went. One thing led to another, and we started getting into this role play, erotic role play, and we just went through with it and stuff like that. I did it at the time. It was a dark point in my life, and I regret doing it. And after I did it, I didn't want to really role play anymore, and I've not role played since then. I've not done any MLP role plays or any other normal role plays on the on any type of hangout device.
Okay. So, so did you know the age of the person that you were role playing with at the time that you erotic role played with them?
Yes, I knew their age.
And why did you continue with it anyways?
Why did I continue with it anyways? I really got into the role plays. I was, like I said, I used to do them a lot, and they were kind of an escape for me because at the time in my life I was having a really rough time there in my life, in my real life, and it was kind of sort of an escape for me, and that's why I was doing the said role plays, and like I said, the role plays were kind of escape, but it didn't. The person was underage, and I shouldn't have done it. And it was wrong. And I know it was wrong.
All right. So here's I guess um what we really need to know is so she's underage. Now, how long did this go on for?
About a couple days. The role play did, and then it stopped. And we never went back to it again. We never did it again.
And it's from my understanding that after this came out, that you were told that you did a podcast with FNGR, and that you had that it was suggested to you that you needed to turn yourself into the police and seek therapy. Have you done any of these things?
Yes, I've told the authorities about this, and I've even told a judge of law about this, and nothing's really come of it. I have been seeing a therapist, getting help, talking about my problems, and just helping myself with myself.
Okay, so I mean, I guess what. So I'm assuming that you want to come back to the fandom, that you'd like to return back into come back into the fandom. But I guess the question that most people would want to know is, why should you be allowed to come back? What has changed from then, from when you did that ERP with an underage person to now, that should allow you to be able to come back?
Well, I made a lot of, like I said, I moved on from that, and I made a lot of content in the Brony fandom, and I've got to experience and meet, I got to experience different conventions with different people, and got to make a wonderful, amazing friends, and I've made a lot of friendships along the way, and I've come a long way since then, and not, like I said, again, that was a dark time in my life, and as time has went on, my life's gotten a lot better and better. And as for being online, it's been getting better and better as well. And I've helped, like I said, I've helped make content for the fandom. I've helped connect people together in the fandom. I've helped friendships and helped people in the fandom who've needed it. I'm not going to name names, but they know who they are.
So you've actually seen, but you've also said that you've seen a therapist.
Yes.
Have you spoken to them about this situation and why you did it, and what ways you
Yes.
can make sure that this doesn't happen again?
Yes, I've discussed it with my therapist, and they've told me, they've discussed with me like avoiding the situation. It's like an alcoholic. They drink alcohol, and then they go to the Alcohol Anonymous. They stay away from bars because the temptation's not there. So you stay away from that kind of stuff. But she said not to role play. She said, just stay away from them kind of situations. Stay in a clean of mind and clean of heart, and do stay away from the stuff that could lead you down a dark path. And like I said, I don't want to go down that dark path. I'm at a point in my life where there's a lot more things important to me in my life that mean more to me than possibly anybody could imagine, that I don't want to lose.
Okay. Well, I'm going to open up the floor to anybody else in here that would like to ask any questions, make any more inputs. Anybody in the chat, if you want to ask any questions, feel free. I have no other questions planned at the moment, but if anybody else would like to input, please do. Rachel, Midnight, do you
Uh,
also have?
um, I'm trying to think. Um,
Well, I mean, you've known him. I think Rachel, out of everyone here, you've known him the longest, haven't?
Okay.
yes, yes. You
Yeah.
see, I actually first met Victor back at BabsCon, which is back at 2016, and I managed to catch up with a lot of my online friends at the time, and I was also participating in a voice acting contest at the time. And before I met Victor, I actually do recall watching quite a few of the Harmony Studios videos, and I got inspired by it. And I want to see if I could reach out and see about providing some voices for their future cartoons. And so so I actually ended up meeting Victor Vortex because it was actually a big surprise. Like I finally get to meet the head of Harmony Studios in person, and maybe there's a way if way we can talk about helping each other out. And then about some time later, at the back then at the moment, voices weren't needed, but he needed some help with the writing. And so initially, I volunteered to help write a script for a certain project, and I did write a script for that one project that hasn't come to light yet, and I gotta say, everyone was pretty impressed with my writing, and so I became a part of the Harmony Studio staff ever since. I that's how I got to know Midnight and everybody else on the studios, and I couldn't feel any happier. Getting to meet and collaborate with with a group of friends who not only love the show so much, they also get to collaborate and share many creative ideas, and that's what makes me happy to be a part of Harmony Studios.
Also, I wanted to, on my part, I wanted to say that before I met Victor, I was even tested. Like before meeting him, um,
Well, I would. We are trying to keep this on the topic of the subject that we're here on. If you guys could try to
no, no,
keep
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, of
I
course.
didn't have the super high like expectations before meeting Victor, and when I met him, really was something that I never would have seen coming. Really nice person. I really got to manage to meet also certain other people from Harmony along with Victor, and it's been it's been almost 5 years, and it's been a great time, to be honest. Uh, they were all great memories. I can't like really deny they were really amazing. And throughout the years, I've seen that um, Victor's always trying to like do the right thing and stuff.
So, Midnight, from my understanding, you had a little bit more information about some things that had happened in the background of what had gone on here.
Yeah. Uh, Before everything happened, I was in a call with. Should I mention?
Um, you were in a
Well,
call with somebody else.
no, with before everything happened, I was in a call. I was with in a call with the
Not with
person.
me. Not with me, of course.
No, 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 no. The I don't know. Should I mention her name?
It was up to you.
It's your
Well,
choice.
I was before everything started, I was in a call with Angel Love, and I was discussing about the stuff that I wanted to understand the problems behind like everything that had happened, and I wanted to find the best solution where we could make the decision to to do what was right. Um, and I was I was positively you know trying to find what to do, how to solve this. We were both trying to find out that, and it did not came on that way that well at the end, towards the end, and I don't know what happened, and the mood changed, and suddenly uh, they they became a little bit aggressive, and it didn't end well.
Okay. Well, from my understanding, I have not been able to see any of the screenshots. Victor, if I'm correct, there's no more logs of these role plays anywhere. Because
Uh,
the only screenshots I've been able to find have been those that were originally posted by Angel Love,
mhm.
and I have asked you, and you said there are no more that the logs don't exist
Well,
anymore.
the
So
last time I went on there was about, I would say, at least the end of 2015, 2016. That was about the time that Google Plus was starting to die, and Skype was starting to become more of a thing. And I had moved over to Skype, so I never really deleted any. I've really never delete any of my Hangouts that I've had. So when I went back, when I saw the screenshots that were posted, I went back to look at the said screenshots, and of course, the hangout between me and her was deleted. It was no longer there. I would have gladly shown them to you or to anybody else that had questions about that log to show them, but like I said, it was gone. It's deleted, and I don't know what happened to it. Of course, I didn't touch it. Like I said, I didn't delete any of my stuff at the time.
and now my Benny, you said you've only met Victor recently, correct?
Yes, I met him through Rachel. She and I have been
So
friends for years now.
hold on before you go off on a tangent. Let me ask you this: why is it that you decided that you should be here on this podcast if you don't really know Victor that well?
Well, even though I've only just met him, um, some of the things that I have been told about him were through Rachel, and like I said, I've known her for years, so I trust her very well. She's never given me reason to doubt her, to suspect her of fracturing lies. So, um, if any friend of hers is a friend of mine, and in the short time that I have gotten known to Victor, he's a really fun guy, and he's interesting, and a big part of me wants to get to know him even more. And okay, so that being said, my reason for being on this podcast is even though I haven't known him very long, I do like to help out other people when I can, whether it's something small like inspiring somebody to do a picture or write a story, or if it's something big like just spreading around a little good wisdom every now and then. It, it just feels right to help the guy. I mean, I don't know exactly the full details of what happened in the past, but you know, I don't think. Well, to me, Victor's past shouldn't matter because it's the Victor that's here today that I want to get to know.
Okay. So, Victor, is there anything else you would like to speak up about, or anything else you would like to say?
Yes. There was with the said postings of the hangouts, which the role play did happen. There were other things that were posted on there um, that are not true. They're lies. There was on the same post there was posting about grooming, sexual grooming, and also about meeting up to have sex. Um, I like I said, I've been friends with Angel Love for quite some time. We were friends for a while. She used to be dating one of my former friends. I leave him anonymous. But like I said, we were friends for quite some time. There was, you know, like I said, the sexual grooming and the sexual meeting up for sex and stuff like that. Anything sexual other than just the role play is lies, are just lies. And I wanted to set it forward that nothing. We just had the role play and nothing. There's nothing else to it. There was no. I had no plan of meeting up for sex. I've never, I didn't do any grooming, any of that kind of stuff. Also, there is another person who has started made a statement. Said statement was that I'm a pedophile. I'm not a pedophile. I don't have sexual desires towards children. Um, I love doing things for children, as in being kind and nice and to help them and to be nurturing and stuff like that. But I don't have any sexual interest towards children like that. Those accusations are false. And because said person, two said people have started this, there has been a complete and utter hate train, death threats, toxic, and even radioactive and acidic things have been coming my way over social media, my YouTube channel, and any other form of media that I could be contacted with. Like I said, I've been out of the Brony fandom for about 2 months because of the toxicity, and it only about a couple weeks ago that the toxicity finally started to die off from this. Um, and then finally, there was another thing. Somebody wanted to talk about this, so I'm a very open person, and I want to talk in subtle things. I went into their podcast and I tried to answer them best I can, like I'm doing in here, but I was literally blindsided. And by the end of it, I felt like it was a straight up witch hunt. That said person and people, they know who they are. That wasn't the right way to do a podcast, nor was it. You shouldn't be the way to, you know, burn people at the stake. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's human. They're going to make mistakes. Everybody else is going to make mistakes. I made a mistake in my past. I'm admitted to it. I made a confession video. I've admitted to it. It was wrong. I agree with everybody. It was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. And I agree, people that them getting angry at me and saying I shouldn't have done it. I agree with them. I shouldn't have. But that's not me anymore. I've moved on. I'm a better person. And I love this. I love this fandom, even though this fandom is literally attacking me right now and it's acidic and radioactive to me. There is a good side to it, and I love being a part of this fandom and helping with it. But yeah, like I said, I just want to let it to be known that I am not plan to have any sexual desires or any sexual things towards person who posted those Twitter posts. And I wanted to make for the record, just strike on the record that I am not a pedophile. That one of the main things I wanted to throw out there, that I'm not this thing. I've waited 2 months for this to calm down so I can actually come back and be able to speak my piece. So, but this is my whole side. That's what I have to say. I hope everybody will forgive me for what I did in my past. I moved on from it, and I'm not the person I was anymore. And I'm willing to show that to anybody who has any doubts. I'm not here to fight or start a war with anybody. I'm not here to point fingers. I'm not here to slap somebody's hand saying they were wrong, even if they were wrong. I just want to move on. I want it to be known that I'm not these things.
Okay. Well, with that being said, um, now you said you're seeing a therapist. That the authorities have been notified. That the authorities have made the decision not to pursue. That they don't believe you've done anything, illegal, and that
No.
you're in therapy and your therapist is helping you with you know with different things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now the question here is though, what kind of you know are you willing if it came to it and you were asked, would you be willing to make some sort of reparations to said victim?
Yes. Matter of fact, I'll do that right now. Angel Love, if you're hearing this message or you're going to hear this message, I apologize for that role play back in 2014. I'm sorry that it happened. I'm sorry if it caused you any mental or physical harm, and if it is still causing you physical or mental harm. I hope you find it into your heart to forgive me, and if you don't, I completely understand. But like I said, I'm sorry for what I've done. You've been the one of the dearest friends I've ever had, and I thank you for everything that you've done, and I really miss you as a friend. If we're not meant to be friends and you don't want to speak to me again, I completely understand. But like I said, I'm truly sorry for what has happened, and like I said, for what it's worth, I hope that your life is wonderful, and that you grow everything, your aspirations, your dreams, and everything go well for you, and you take care of yourself. You've been the one of the dearest friends I've ever had, and I thank you for everything that you've done, and I really miss you as a friend. If we're not meant to be friends and you don't want to speak to me again, I completely understand. But I have nothing else to say. Sorry for what has happened, and like I said, for what it's worth, I hope that your life is wonderful, and that you go everything, your aspirations, your dreams, and everything go well for you, and you take care of yourself. I have nothing else to say.
You know, Victor, um, when there, I understand um, that there's that, um, and I understand that that because of what has happened, it, it you it, you had to there's just you're just a uh, I'm sorry, forgive me, excuse me, I understand a lot that you went through, and honestly, you don't you honestly you don't deserve the kind of treatment that the kind of treatment where that that coming from certain people who don't truly understand about what truly has transpired, meaning that before anyone can make it can make any harsh judgment, and before they make any irrational decisions, like they, they 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 should take a moment to slow down and ask yourself why. Not yourself. I mean, you already pointed out. But I'm talking about someone else. Like, ask yourself, like, why does this is happening, and why is there certain things that didn't make any sense. And so, like, I do recall watching that podcast with F and GR, and and you were given an opportunity to speak, and yet they didn't really give you a chance to speak. So, um, and so it so I'm grateful for the fact that you that after it that after having to break away from the internet for over 2 months, you it you I'm glad that you finally became brave enough to in to stand up for yourself, to finally have the opportunity to hear your side of the story. And I sincerely hope that not just Angela, but a lot of others, including all of your dearest friends, it could take a moment to forgive you, to reach out to you, and hopefully ask you for any kind of help. So, in it, it's the online toxicity. This has to stop. the the hateful comments and death threats, they need to stop. I understand it's not a I understand that's easier said than done with the online toxicity to end, but if they could take a moment to stop and 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 give themselves a moment to listen to your side of the story, especially what uh, every single word that you spoke, then, then it's all up to them it's all up to them to decide. And don't forget, don't forget that My Little Pony friendship is magic. This is a show dedicated to bring messages about friendship and compassion, and and we all have, I mean, our characters have a lot of growing experience as much as we have in real life. So what happened? Why hey, why did the message of friendship and compassion fell through? Why was it forgotten? So
Rachel, I think the better question isn't where did everything go wrong, but rather how can we make it better again? Don't look for the source of the problem. Look for a solution to it. Because I think the solution is more important to be focused on than finding out what caused um, all this all this extreme hatred, and not just in the brony community, and pretty much everything this day and age. Rachel, I think the better question isn't where did everything go wrong, but rather how can we make it better again? Don't look for the
so
source of the problem. Look for a
Midnight,
solution to
any
it.
thoughts on that?
Because I think the solution is more important
Um, yeah, I
than finding
actually
out what caused um,
see in any
all this
situation,
all this extreme
in any
hatred, and
situation
not just
actually that anybody has done
in the
anything
brony community, and
horrifically,
pretty much everything
bad or
this day and age.
just something, that doesn't really seem forgivable. There's always the question of why it happened. There's always, you know, something in the background of the person that did it, and it's not just up to the person themselves to find it out, but also for also everybody else to, to figure out why instead of just, uh, you know, going after the person and just telling them that they need to like leave or they need to like die or something. you know we should, instead of that, just ask why did you do something like that, or you know what was going through your mind, or is there, like, also to find out how to help. Like, you can see this across My Little Pony so much. It's technically everywhere. Almost every villain is forgiven. They have a background of things. They had a past. There was a reason why they did the things they did, and it just took them just a little push for them to find out that they don't have to keep doing that. They can do the right thing and they can be happy. They don't have to be doing this. But if we just go after them, they're just gonna keep doing the same thing. It's up to us to help them. Sometimes that may not be the situation, but there's always the benefit of the doubt. We have to try. And I can clearly see Victor has tried to change all these years for the better of himself and for everybody. Clearly, um, I haven't not seen. I'm absolutely sure Victor has not not ever done a role play ever after this happened. I'm I'm pretty sure of that. And for anybody thinking that he's still doing it, and you know, I'm pretty sure I've known Victor for 5 years, and throughout all these times, pretty sure he hasn't.
Well, I have to say, I don't think the toxicity and whatnot is so much a fandom phenomenon, but just something in a whole wider culture, society phenomenon, especially on the internet. I mean, the jumping at people and screaming at them and labeling them and branding them is just something that has become a common practice amongst the internet in general, and it has its uses, and certain people deserve the things that come to them from it. But I do believe that certain people, sometimes the innocent, end up, you know, and not even saying the innocent, but just people that don't deserve that the full brunt of the punishment that they're receiving end up on the wrong end of such things. Now, Victor, you're not innocent. You're guilty. We all realize that you did what you did. You were taking steps to rehabilitate yourself. Can be considered admirable to some people. Some people might not see it that way. Um, the fact is everyone's going to have to make their own decisions at the end of the day on whether or not on how they feel about this. But did you deserve to be, you know, you know, treated as though you were the next Toon Critic or something? Probably not. Toon Critic was from everything that I've seen, Toon Critic was a horrible person that did a lot of horrible things that probably shouldn't have been, you know, that got what he deserved. On the other hand, you did mess up, so I mean, and you have to recognize that, and you've taken the steps to make amends for it. And now it's up to each and every individual person to decide what they, what how they feel about you and what whether they want to speak to you or not. Um, I guess if there's no more questions, if nobody has any more questions, anybody in chat that wants to say anything, ask any questions, or if there's nothing else, I think we'll end here. Unless there's anything else.
Well, there is one more thing I actually do want to point out. Um, you see, around the time when this whole drama happened, because I've been seeing that a lot of people are quickly deciding to label Victor as a pedophile, which believe me, he's not. And I tried to help spread the message via the hashtag my past is not today. You see, the hashtag my past is not today, inspired by that particular song, shows that people can change for the better and that they do not stick within the past. That's basically what we learned from Sunset Shimmer, is that she has learned from her mistakes, and while forgiveness may not be easy at first, eventually it will come. And now she has support for all of her newfound friends, and and she decided to be and she teaches herself how to become a much better person. However, as I was trying to explain that I was trying to explain the meaning of that message, and that a lot of people some people it, that they think that it is meant they think it's for we're defending a pedophile, and that we are trying to sweep its quote unquote crime under the rug. And and a lot of people are beginning the wrong kind of message, and that's not my past is not today. It's not meant to be. And also and also um and also it yeah so again you had to yet again like think about again think about the song like it about it again it is not meant to defend pedophiles and it is nothing like that at all. It is meant that it is meant to show like instead of labeling him as such it take a moment and also like I mentioned earlier before take a moment and listen to his side of the story and and then and then decide whether that it would and decide whether you think that 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 you would they it's up to you to decide what you whether you believe it or not. But in, anyway, as I was trying to say, like in, d- remember the morals that we learned from the show after all these years from watching My Little Pony. And please do not forget those messages.
All right.
That's all I could say for right now.
Okay. Well, if there are no more questions from the chat, I guess I guess that would be a wrap. Unless anybody in the chat has anything else they want to say.
I have a few things I'd like to add.
If Benny, feel free.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, if we're gonna jump on the first sign of somebody who's a criminal without actually seeing the evidence of a crime that they've committed, we should at least make sure our own hands aren't dirty. What I'm saying about that is, we've all done some bad things in the past, things we would like to erase from our history, things we wish we could go back in time and stop ourselves from doing. However, it's those mistakes that have helped us, that can help us be shaped into the good people, the better people that we are now. And when you are, and when we were talking about how Victor has sometimes been compared to Toon Critic, well, with Toon Critic, there was evidence. His victims actually came and spoke out against him. With Victor, so far, the only evidence is screenshots of comments that don't really exist anymore. If he was a pedophile, then anybody that he may have potentially got involved with would have come out and spoken about it instead. And I know some victims, they prefer to keep hiding it in the shadows, but it takes a stronger person to break out of a bad situation than it is for somebody to just stay in it and try to endure it.
I mean, it, uh, yeah, there has, I agree with, our past, what we did on the past, so it teaches us how to move on the future. Also, with the screenshots,
Okay.
the,
Well, I'm just gonna have to say this, but the screenshots they did exist. They're out there. You can find them if you want. Victor has admitted that that he did do a role play. So, I mean, he's not innocent in that regard. I mean, he did
no,
do what
I'm
he's
not,
accused of. I understand, but well, let me
okay.
finish real quick. But there is proof. Um, but there isn't. But that is the only proof that we have. That is the, there are no more logs or anything, and so, there's no more context that we can give to this. Therefore, it's, I think what you guys are trying to get at is that it's harder to, show that, whether Victor is what he's people are claiming he is or not, because the only context we have is a very limited selection of screenshots, and and the story of and then Angel Love's story, because I mean obviously she was a victim and she did come forward, but there has been nobody else that has come forward, and if there is anybody else out there, I would suggest that if you do want to come forward, that you find somebody you trust and you speak to them about it. You can, if you feel like if you want to, you can. I'm always open to listen to anybody. You can come to me or anyone else. If there is anybody else out there, I wholeheartedly suggest that you come forward. But as of now, um, you know, it's Angel Love and these few screenshots, and it's a horrible thing that Victor did, but he is trying to make reparations for what he did. So, I mean, at this point, this is one of those things where people have to make their own decisions whether or not they believe in rehabilitation or not.
Okay, so but here's one of the things I'm really concerned about. Even though the Victor already gave his apology, what if he and all of us here were being attacked again? Because because Victor here, during these 2 months he's been constantly attacked, and he's still getting those hateful comments and death threats. How is there a certain way that we could stop this?
The fact is, like I said, there's nothing that people now. Victor has had his chance to speak his side to show that he's trying to make reparations. He said, he put out what he felt like he needed to say that he didn't get a chance to say before. He's shown that he's taken steps to make reparations, and now it is up to these individuals to whether or not they want to change their opinion or not. At this point, there is, they are allowed to have their own opinions, and they're allowed to speak their mind. Death threats, I would never condone death threats, and I would like to remind everybody that death threats are actually usually against the terms of service for most social media websites, including YouTube, Twitter, and so forth. So, if you like your account, try not to do that because it is not good for you.
Not only is it against terms and service, it's illegal, period. People have been sent to jail for posting death threats. And even when they try to say, oh, I was just joking, well, joking or not, police, um, any authoritarian, they take it seriously. They treat it seriously. And and besides, sending death threats, it's not only is it illegal, it's immature anyway. I mean, if you're a good person, why would you want to threaten to kill somebody? That's what an evil person does. And even when they try to say, "Oh, I was just joking," well, joking or not,
And
police,
it there is, I also want to point out there's also there's I also want to point out that there is a certain type of there is a kind of immaturity that can also lead to a type of social justice act. And well, okay, so first off, that we live in a country where people are free to express themselves. But at the same time, though, you have to understand that even those free expressions can have some effect on people, both for physically, mentally, and and it just it has a most powerful effect, both good and bad. I want so one of the things that I wanted to quickly point out that i- that like during the times when Angel Love has been posting those screenshots, they it that that she's been getting that she's having other supporters such as Northbridge and Wupcake, and it and it and and but one of the, but well, Angel Love is the one who uploaded those screenshots and the ones that uploaded those screenshots and accused Victor for this kind of sexual behavior. Wupcake is actually the one who labeled Victor as a pedophile. And it, and when I and also when I tried to share my hashtag for my past is not today, and she immediately got offended by that because again she thinks that that it that that it's meant to defend a pedophile and it's not. And it and and there was a certain and also a certain point that and it's also labels to a kind of toxic behavior that if you don't agree to a certain kind of views, then then you will get blocked, and and that's what happened to me and certain others. And another thing that I really want to point out, if you excuse me for just a moment here, is that that Webcake basically attacked one one of the comments and for trying to explain that trying to explain that that Victor that Victor that did not actually ruin the girl's life, ruin Angel Love's life, and I mean, of course, we all know what he did was wrong, but he did apologize, but not everybody sees that. So to, it take a moment to take a look at this one comment that Wupcake has made here, and that just shows that it that that just shows that it that Wupcake would 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 it was if she is actually trying to
Make,
support Angel
can I
Love.
say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to make it. I want to make it known that this comment that was posted, everybody on the stream can see it. This comment was posted. I made a confession video. I came forward. I admitted what I did. After Angel Love came forward, I made a confession video about all this and what we're talking about now, just like I did earlier in the call. But the comment was posted on. Several comments were posted on here. There's a whole conversation with people, just threatening me and stuff like that. And Mirrorod, which is the one, he's Mirrorod, aka Midnight. He's in the call right now with us. He's a part of this conversation, and of course, the reason why we had this said evidence is, like I was trying to state before, I want it to be known that I'm not a pedophile, and this is, of course, a screenshot of somebody stating that I am a pedophile, and there and just a bunch of other people just getting behind it and saying that I am a pedophile without hearing both sides. And like I said, this screenshot is not to poke at somebody. It's not to start a fight. It's not to call this person out. Like I said, I have no problem with this person at all. It's just simple fact that I want it to be shown. If questions are asked, if there's proof of people calling me a pedophile, there it is right there.
Yes, and I would.
This comment that is posted in here, it has been deleted. It does not exist anymore, but it did exist, and that is the proof of it right there. And I just want, like I said, I'm not here to start a fight. I'm not here to call anybody out. I'm not, like I said, just to clear the air that I'm not a pedophile, and that is just the proof that a screenshot has been taken for said proof of me being called a pedophile. So that's all I had to say. I'm sorry.
Right,
Okay.
and
Well, at this point, I'd like to point out that what was the purpose of posting this comment out here? I mean, I guess it shows that that this comment existed and that he was called a pedophile at one point. But is there any other purpose for this? For you calling this out? Because I mean, this could be seen as you guys trying to reach out to attack her. So
I have no intention of attacking Wupcake at all. I just want to bring up to a certain point that reach out to a certain reach out that 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 before you make any any before you decide to make any irrational judgment on Victor, you have to take a moment and that you have to take a moment. And I know I've been constantly saying this throughout the entire podcast that listening to it, that if we listen to both sides of the stories, especially for Angel Love's case and also for Victor's case, one it had one hit I've been
Well, like I said,
sorry, excuse me.
what I was saying before Gilded Dash is I stated before in the podcast about people calling me this and saying I don't know, I can't remember if I said person's name, just having these people just saying this. It's a screenshot, it existed, it's been deleted. um I'm not trying to start a war. That's not my intention at all. If anything, I've been gone for 2 months to not fight with anybody, to not poke or prod or cause a fight with anybody. And I'm not trying to call anybody out or start a war or a fight or spat or he said, she said kind of thing. I'm just here to clear the air, to let it be known that I'm not what people are saying I am. I'm not. I'm not trying to start fight. I'm not being aggressive with the screenshot. I'm just saying there are literally gilded. There's literally more screen. There's literally more pictures, comments, and anything from Twitter, YouTube, and I could literally pull up thousands upon thousands of
Is
of other things.
is it really that necessary to be that particularly aggressive
So,
just to keep
but
saying that you are a pedophile? That is not it.
Okay.
Rachel. That's not the point why I'm here. I made this podcast for the simple reason that I want it to be known that I'm not these things. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not trying to start a fight. Simple thing is that's their choice. They have to choose. They if they want to keep calling me that, they want to keep going down their path of it's their choice. Like you said, it's freedom of somebody to comment their feelings and their emotions and their own judgment. I'm not trying to waver people's minds. I'm not trying to say, burn me at the stake. I'm not saying people love me again. It's ultimately their decisions. You got to give them stuff to look at, to sit back, to take it in, to look at what's in front of them, and let them in their heart and mind think about it. That's the main reason why I want to do this podcast. When it was calmed down enough that I could come in here and say what I wanted to say before anybody was like, at the time they were angry, upset, confused. Its time has passed. And that's pretty much, why we're doing this podcast, so I can explain it. So, but like I said, I have no ill will. I have no beef with this person. I have nothing to start a fight or nothing. Like I said, I could pull up another screenshot or a different screenshot. I'm not per se attacking one said person. I'm not randomly choosing someone. Just screenshots after screenshots. I mean, they exist, or of this proof. But like I said, I'm not here to start a fight. I'm not here to start a war. I'm here to answer people's questions about this whole situation. Trying to ask for forgiveness. People can forgive me if they want. If they don't want to forgive me, that's their choice.
Right.
I'm a changed man, and I have moved on from this, and I made a mistake. I'm trying to make amends for it. I admitted to it. I'm here trying to talk with people to be reasonable, and let them know that I'm not that person anymore. That I'm standing out my hand into friendship with them. If they want to take my hand and shake it, still be my friend, then that's great. I love to be your friend, and I want to start showing people. So I'm not telling people. I want to show people that I've changed, and
Right.
I want to make sure that. And if there's people who I extend my hand out to, that they either smack my hand or they just look at my hand and walk away, then that's their choice. It's their decision, their choice. They're human beings. They have a heart and mind. They can choose what they want. We're not here. I'm not here to pass judgment. Nobody else in this call and I will get very upset at anybody else in this call that is trying to say, cyberbullying, toxic this. The internet, it is what it is. You can't change it. One person or even a group of people like us, we can't change what is the norm, what is set up. And yes, one step at a time, we could fix something. But Rome wasn't built in a day, people. I mean, it's got to take all of us at a time to slowly let the healing begin and let people make their decisions. I might not never be welcome back to the Brony fandom. I might be welcome back to the Brony fandom. It might take a while. It might take weeks, months, years. It might never happen. But I just wanted to come into this podcast and let it be known that, like I said, I'm not a pedophile. I'm not a sexual deviant, and I am here to just let that be known out there. I did what I did, and yes, I can't change the past. I've learned from it, and I'm going to be a better person for it.
Well said, Victor.
Well
And
said.
This is good that you're moving forward with your life, that you're taking control of it. And this is good because you are a person. You're not an item that has to be labeled. You are a person. Good on you, buddy.
Did I explain everything, Gilded, that you were asking?
Well, I think that about wraps us up, folks, because I don't think we have anything else more to cover here unless you guys have some groundbreaking um, realizations or evidence here, or if somebody else in the chat wants to ask a question, I think this will be. I think we're gonna call it. I mean, unless the chat has another question that they
Does
need
anybody in
need
the chat
answered.
have questions for me? Anybody in the chat room? Because, like I said, after this thing happened, I had a ton of toxic messages to me. Now that everything's calmed down and everybody's level-headed, nobody's no. We're all listening here. I have both ears to Texas and to anything. So I'm more willing to answer any questions or any concerns you guys might have or curiosities or anything. But I'm here to answer it honestly and truthfully for you.
And I also want to point out that I have no intention of attacking anyone at all.
No.
I just no. I just want to express that I want to express that please excuse me. Is it?
So it's okay, Rachel. Just take a deep breath and just say what you want to say a little slower, so that way you get every word out.
Okay. Okay, so I just want to point out that that um, that a type of comment like that, be it being constantly aggressive on trying to label it if they're trying to label someone as as they are actually not, that honestly, even though it is a free country, yes, but it's still not right to to keep pushing on that fact, even though that is not true, and that and that you would block anyone that who would not disagree with you. So it's so like what it, so it so why not just so why not just take so why not just take a moment and it, and and you had to question yourself, is this right? Is that the right thing I did? Is it the wrong thing I did? Or is it somewhere in the gray area? Then yeah, I think I mean, we all learned something throughout this entire experience here, and and you have to understand that we are all human beings. We are entitled to we are all entitled to make mistakes, but we are also entitled to learn from our mistakes. And isn't and it and if you want to if you want to change some things to make your life better, then go ahead and do it. And it, and, and there's no need to be negative all the time.
Okay.
It's all a matter of being. It's all
Uh,
a matter of of, of seeing a lot of positive in life. We all know times are hard, but you could always keep pushing hard and keep it. I mean, like it keep pushing to
Rachel?
into the type of person you want to be.
All right, Rachel. I think everyone gets it.
Yeah.
I think if there's nothing else, that we're going to go ahead and stop the live stream here.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have any questions in the chat. Just
Yeah,
mostly
nobody else
random
seems
comments.
to you have any questions. So,
No,
um,
no questions.
again, if anybody, Angel Love, Webcake, whoever, if they want to come up with any more information, they want to ask, they want to, they feel that something wasn't represented correctly here, they want to speak to me. There's a link down below to 2 different ways to get a hold of me, and I'm willing to talk to anybody if they feel that something wasn't done correctly. And again, if there's anybody else out there that feels that there was something wrong, you feel free to contact me, and I will help you in the best way that I can. We're gonna end it here. So see everybody later. Bye.
And thank you all for listening.
So yeah.
Good night, everybody.